how you're going to recruit the officers.
We, I guess Wednesday, I guess it was Christmas Eve, we had posted on the city's website our application, and today I was able to send out a press release to a bunch of different media outlets, and we're trying to post it on some particular websites that police officers look at, and hopefully get the word out that we are in the process of recruiting. And what we plan on doing the second week, and not next week, the week after, if we've got enough applications in, we're going to start the process with our physical agility test and an oral interview. So interview candidates, and then if they pass those two processes, we'll do a conditional job offer, and then move forward over the next several weeks with a medical screening, a polygraph, a background check, end up with a psychological, and then an interview with me before being hired.
Everyone will have a psychological test and a background test.
Yes.
Okay. Going down the road, hiring privates is a lot cheaper than hiring sergeants. The plan down the road, there's always attrition. You know probably the percentage of attrition on the police force.
Typically it's about 10%.
And so do we have a plan in place there down the road where we could recruit young men and women off the streets and bring them up through the various schools that are available in the state of Georgia and hire them that way?
Absolutely. Our goal first is to hire people so that we don't have the 10% attrition rate. We want to get people who are career-minded, who want to serve here in Dunwoody, and our goal is to hire people so that we don't have the turnover. However, that being said, we'll obviously have some turnover, and depending on when it happens, at what point, we certainly would look at hiring officers who are not certified yet, as opposed to hiring officers who are certified. I think it would depend on the number. It would depend on the applicants that we get. A lot of times you'll get applicants at police departments who are already certified, and you don't have the downtime with them as you would somebody who is a rookie who needs to go through the academy. So we certainly would look at those options in the future.
Okay. Car availability. Cars available?
We're working on that right now.
We don't suspect there'll be any problem with delivery and preparation in time for April 1st.
Warren, on the cost of the vehicles, talked about being very conservative on a budget for the first, definitely the first year because of these unknowns that we're going in being a one-time budget type. The cars, did you budget these out over a 5- and 10-year basis and they came out fairly equal? Is that what you're telling me? So whether, versus buying half and hot seating the first year versus all?
I ran the numbers every which way, and the part that you can't get around is if you're buying all of them within even a 2-year period and you split it year to year, the first year you will see half the cost, and the second year you see the full cost. And then in year 6, you still don't see a reduction because you'll keep some of them on the 5-year financing, and then some of them will become new cars. So no matter what you do after you have the entire fleet of vehicles, it's the same cost every year. No matter how fast you replace them, no matter any of those factors, unless they're going longer than 5 years, which, a take-home vehicle is not going to last 5 years. 100,000 miles is about the useful life of those cars. So there's really no other, the only other economical way to do it is to do fleet concept instead of take-home, which would reduce the cost on the front end of the purchase of the vehicles. And then there's some argument that the maintenance costs and gasoline and downtime for repairs is more significant with the fleet concept.
Okay.
So the short answer to your question, the only way I could find to make it cheaper is just for year 1 cost versus year 2 and beyond. But my concern is that if it hurts our recruiting ability, then we're not up April 1st. It's going to cost us $430,000 to pay the cab an extra 30 days, and we certainly don't want to go there.
Okay, then the cost, the cost of the cars, 5 years. That we're pretty much after 5 years, the residual value is minimal, I would presume.
Sometimes in police departments, you're able to take the cars after 5 years and come up with alternate uses for them. most of the time they're ready for auction, and a taxi cab company will pick it up for $1,000 or $2,000 on a good day. Sometimes they're just to the point where nobody can functionally drive them. So it's a crapshoot, but I've never seen them retain value after 5 years.
After 5 years, there are cars, correct?
Yes, this is it's called a lease purchase, but it's just purchase financing, and we're just spreading the cost over 5 years at a very low rate.
Is that through GMA?
Yes, sir. Tax-free finance.
Chuck, obtaining experienced officers, one of the impacts I see is the possible retirement programs in which they're currently in. I looked at your announcement online. I'm happy to see it out. Can you tell me a little bit about the retirement program that the city of Dunwoody will be offering the police officers?
I'll let Warren answer that.
Yeah, we have not come to a final recommendation to bring to council yet. The concept that I think we're looking at is the potential to do a hybrid retirement program. Again, we're still weighing this, and the HR staff with our finance administration folks are going to provide me a final recommendation in the next week to 10 days because it affects all of the city staff. One of the challenges that we have from trying to weigh risks and rewards is that we maybe have a recruiting issue if we don't offer the GMA retirement program to folks that may transfer in. Now, certainly that is not going to apply to officers that are county officers or state officers or the cities that have alternate retirement programs. So it is a limited number of cities, but a number of our competitors offer the GMA retirement program. The concern that you have from a financial standpoint is that creating a traditional pension program creates a financial liability for the city because once you start it, you can't end it. I mean, you are in it, you've got to fund those retirements at whatever level is necessary by the actuaries. So one of the ideas that we've devised is to go to a defined benefit package where we would, defined contribution, thank you, package where we would set up a certain percentage amount that we would contribute toward an employee's retirement. They can split that retirement cost between whatever the premium is for the pension program and the defined contribution program. So say, for example, you have a $50,000 employee and you set a 10% limit so that they have $5,000 to contribute toward their retirement. If they join the pension program, and let's say that pension was $3,000 a year, they put $3,000 into that's their contribution to the pension, and then the $2,000 they can put into the 457 program, which is the defined contribution. What that does is it caps the city's liability at 10%, and what you write in is anything above that 10%. If you want to do that, then the employee pays for it out of their pocket. So you cap the city's responsibility. The one challenge to that is that if the pension program becomes unreasonably expensive, the city will have that responsibility at the end of the day to fund it if the employees are not willing to fund it. The IRS regulation is that when you commence employment, you have a choice to either enter the pension program or not. You can't join in later. So we know at the onset what our enrollment is, not including any new employees that come on board over the years. I'm still a little bit conflicted on this, so I'm not ready to make a final recommendation. This is
Could be an option to have them, once they vest, that they would then be out of the program. There's probably a number of options that could be available in order to